incoming Superintendent Blake Davis, school committee members, my fellow district administrators, graduates and their families, and distinguished guests. On behalf of Assistant Principal Steve Messina and myself, I'd like to welcome you to Wahconah Regional High School's 59th graduation ceremony. We're gathered here today for this unprecedented event to pay final tribute to Wahconah's class of 2020. Due to the COVID-19 situation, it's expected that I verbally remind all of you about some important aspects of today's ceremony, so I ask that you please listen carefully. First, unfortunately, the umbrellas have to be down if they don't already, so people can see from behind you. First, also, we need to have masks on at all times during the ceremony. Speakers may remove their mask when they're at the podium only. Second, we must maintain social distancing at all times. Please remain in your seats until instructed to do so otherwise. If you need to access the restroom, please note the porta potties that are located on either side of the track. If you need to use them, ushers will make sure you make your way there safely to and from that area. I would also like to note that this is the first time in Wahconah history where the word porta potty has been mentioned at a Wahconah graduation ceremony. If you need medical attention, we have a first aid station set up near our football concession stand. We have 3 nurses on hand today to assist you if needed. We have 2 more important points to make before we move forward with our ceremony. Once it is time to distribute diplomas to the graduates, we will allow a maximum of 2 family members to come forward to take a picture to capture that moment. The ushers will direct you to that area. We will also provide further instructions just before we distribute diplomas. And finally, the conclusion of the distribution of diplomas will mark the conclusion of our ceremony, but we are going to need all of you to stay right where you are. We will dismiss each family by name, starting with those families who were here first sitting in the hot sun around 5:30. Due to social distancing restrictions, our exit must be as orderly and as organized as our entry. Now that we've announced all of that, it's finally time, after many, many weeks, to celebrate the incredible young people sitting before you. To start our ceremony off in fine fashion, I would ask that you please rise and welcome Mr. John Demler as he leads us in the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Please be seated. And thank you, John, for that fantastic rendition of our national anthem. It means a great deal to have you here with us today as we celebrate with our graduates. At this time, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce the president of the class of 2020, Kevin Hubin. We have to do this now. When you come to school next year, it's going to be a lot of this. All right, Kevin.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, School Committee Chair Dr. Kraft Reese, Superintendent Blake Davis, Principal Rob, Assistant Principal Messina, distinguished faculty, staff, graduates, and families. Good evening, and welcome to Wahconah Regional High School's 59th graduation ceremony. I would like to extend many thanks to those for attending this event to celebrate our class, the class of 2020, during these trying times. I can't begin to express how incredible it is to see all of the graduates and their families here today, gathered as one. There was a time when we weren't sure this day would even be possible. The novel coronavirus has greatly influenced our world, bringing with it insurmountable and unprecedented challenges. While without school, I did get to sleep in more than ever, and those of you who know me well can attest to the fact that I enjoyed that immensely. Nonetheless, we are so fortunate here in our community that we are able to experience this graduation celebration, a commemoration of our class's varying achievements. From award-winning athletes to talented actors and musicians, to kind-hearted and driven members of extracurriculars, our class has done it all. Our many achievements as a class are what will be remembered by the community, but what we, as proud individuals of the class of 2020, will remember are the little things. Like how it felt to step back in September as the big, bad, scary seniors, or on senior dress-up day when male strippers and the entire cast of Mario Kart roamed our halls. Our class is vibrant, providing me with 4 years of endless joy and laughter. Life was simpler back then, pre-COVID. We know now what we did not know then. Back then, we were almost innocent, and we had a childlike naivety that led us forward each day. But unfortunately, our worldly surroundings have forced us to mature at a rate much greater than those classes before us. We can all admit that making it here to this very day was no easy feat. I would like to ask you to take a moment with me and look towards the overgrown grass that makes up the monumental Warrior Hill. Take in what you're looking at. That hill is a symbol of the Warrior Way. Now, let's take a minute to imagine how many people have done sprints up that hill. Earlier this year, our principal, Mr. Rob, coined the term, "Take it to the hill." There's a reason the term, "Take it to the hill," was introduced. And in fact, it can be interpreted many different ways. Some people see Warrior Hill as a token of achievement. Others see it as a peaceful escape from reality. Some see it as a symbol of bravery and resilience. Others see it as a symbol of family. I see it as a reminder that a stress-free mindset is attainable if I take it to the hill. Although the only actual memories I have on that hill are from our middle school days when we would all swarm to the football games like flies, I still take it to the hill when I need it most. While writing this speech, I found myself struggling to convert my thoughts into words. And thus I took breaks and took it to the hill by taking frequent trips to the kitchen for food. So why are we all here today? It is because we withstood every single drawback thrown at us. And we repeatedly took one step at a time, each step further up that hill. Someone once said, When you can't control what's happening, challenge yourself to control the way in which you respond to what's happening. That is where your power is. As we participate in the most altered and unprecedented graduation ceremony in the history of Wahconah, we demonstrate the power and the strength we all hold. In our lives, we will all face adversity much more pressing than this. In the pursuit of our dreams, desires, and happiness, we will stumble and we will fall. But how we respond in the face of challenge is far more important and demonstrative of our strengths as individuals and a class as a whole. I've known most of my classmates now for several years, and over that time, I've witnessed countless acts of resilience and integrity in responses to struggle. I can honestly say that those that sit before me are true warriors. And because we are warriors, we are not fearful in the face of challenges. Instead, we are strong. And today, we are ready to take on the world. We don't waver, but stand firm, waiting and working for better days to come. We all will diverge on different paths, but it is certain that we will all encounter hardships. My fellow classmates, promise me one thing. If you get knocked down, get back up. You all have bright futures ahead of you, full of ubiquitous opportunity, abundant success, and a plethora of love. We should, no, we must, take what we've learned and are still learning and use it to inspire positive change and strength as we grow through our lives. If you ever feel at a loss of confidence, remember the challenges we've already faced and overcome, and remember your greatest strengths, your will to persevere, and your childlike hope in the face of insurmountable negativity. Let our presence today be an example of perseverance, because today, classmates and guests, look down, take a breath, and admire the view, because we have made it to the top of Warrior Hill. Now look ahead. If you apply this strength and resilience you have acquired, and remember to keep faith in yourself and others, you will succeed time and time again. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. I'd now like to call on our class salutatorian, Catherine Bueno, to come forward to the stage.
Hello, friends, families, classmates, teachers, and administrators. I would like to thank all of you for helping us to celebrate during these unusual times. Your love and support over the last few months has been more than any of us expected. From the drive-bys and Facebook pages, to the lawn signs and adopt a senior gifts, our class has felt the support of the whole community, and we greatly appreciate everything that you all have done to make our final months of high school as memorable as possible. These memories, and the ones that we have made together until this point, will remain in our hearts and in our minds as each of us begins the next portion of our lives. Edith Eva Eger, author of The Choice, Embrace the Possible, and survivor of Auschwitz, wrote a statement toward the beginning of her memoir that forced me to pause and reflect on the last 13 years of my life. The line read, "Our childhood memories are often fragments, brief moments or encounters, which together form the scrapbook of our life. The memories that we have from elementary, middle, and high school have and will continue to shape our minds and our hearts. Each of us will leave Wahconah with a unique and memorable mental scrapbook that contains the memories that we wish to carry with us into the future." I thought that the perfect way to view some of these scrapbooks would be to ask some of my classmates for their favorite memory of our time together. Here are some of the responses that I received. My favorite memory is asking Helen to prom and seeing the excitement on her face. My favorite memory is going to all of the boys' basketball games senior year, cheering on our friends, making signs, getting food, and traveling to away games. My favorite memory would have to be the giving project that I did in 5th grade with Miss Bills. We all were given $5 and then we raised money for a charity. Afterwards, we had our parents come in and we all shared our charities and why we picked them. It was amazing to see all of my classmates raising money for the things that they believe in. My favorite memory is a time in 6th grade when Mr. Hogue pranked me and took the whole class with him so that I was the only one in class confused. And then I pranked him back by flipping all of his desks upside down before class. My favorite memory is the 8th grade graduation dance because we all got to be together before our next big step. My favorite memory from school has to be from the ending of my first musical freshman year. The whole show was full of so much energy and it was massively rewarding to complete it. The experience helped me form a bond with some of my best and closest friends, and I'm so glad that I got to experience it. My favorite memory would have to be the Camp Beckett trip in 5th grade. I came out of my comfort zone a lot during that trip, so I remember it very clearly. My favorite memory would have to be our life lesson classes in Mr. Bradshaw's class. It taught me a lot about what to expect in the next few years of my life, and it taught me that the one thing to always do in life is to stay true to yourself. He always told us you are in high school to get out of high school, and everything happens for a reason, which is something that I will live by forever. It's little memories like these that will be important to us as time goes on. And as we reach the next milestones in our lives, we will be able to add to this scrapbook, forming the scrapbook of our life that Edith Eger was referencing. Although we may end up in 117 different places, we will share one part of our scrapbook, the beginning. Someday we will be able to look back at the beginning of our scrapbook to measure our growth and appreciate the experiences that we were able to have together, especially during this pandemic. I know that many of us are disappointed that we didn't have the ending to our senior year that we expected, but in 20 years, we might be grateful for this time. We have been able to find new hobbies, spend more time with our families, do something special for ourselves, prepare for the next step in our lives, get outside, and value the times that we did share when we were all together. This pandemic has created new and unexpected memories for many of us, making our scrapbooks even more special. Even though we may be saying goodbye to Wahconah and to each other, we will forever have the memories of these years and the special moments that we shared. I would like to thank my fellow classmates and the staff for all of the memories that I have of our time together. Each of you is very special to me, and I will keep these memories front and center in my scrapbook. Those of you that know me well will know that I have to include a little bit of Disney magic in my scrapbook. Today's page will include the words of the genie. His quote, "Today's special moments are tomorrow's memories," reminds me of all the special moments that we have shared and the memories that we will leave this field with. So, Wahconah class of 2020, let's go make some new memories and add them to our scrapbooks. Thank you.
I would now like to call upon our class valedictorian, Jack Manella, to come to the podium.
So I remember, am I close enough? So I remember several years back, my mom mentioned that since I was graduating in 2020, all the speeches at graduation would probably have something to do with vision. Needless to say, she didn't foresee a global pandemic when she remarked this bit of wordplay, and I didn't anticipate that I would be here this evening delivering the valedictorian address, nor did I anticipate that voice crack. Well done. So, since my visual acuity is abysmal and everybody is tired of talking about the pandemic, I knew I had to come up with something else to discuss tonight. But I was having a hard time shifting my focus from the thing that had completely derailed our lives on a Friday in March. We have been told that even though the end of our senior year hasn't panned out the way we wanted it to, it wasn't all bad. We were having experiences that we never would have otherwise without the COVID-19 pandemic. And while that's all true, I was having a hard time seeing any of the benefits. We lost the last few months of our time together, and instead of the usual raucous goodbye as we prepared to graduate, we frantically packed our things on an inauspicious afternoon in March, not knowing then that we had just concluded our last ever day of in-person classes at Wahconah. It's funny to think that less than 2 months before, we were sitting in our homerooms listening to Lucas Walsh delivering the Wahconah Morning News Summary as he told us about how China was erecting entire hospitals in just under 2 weeks, while whole cities were being put on lockdown because of a strange, unknown virus. We were too busy then, thinking about the beginning of the third quarter and reflecting on how midterms went. And thinking about how midterms went, to consider that that same total upheaval of everything we knew was just a couple of months away. We never imagined that, in a way, our high school careers would be over before the third quarter was. Now it feels impossible to imagine what it would have been like to have concluded the year normally. Presently, our entire high school experience feels like it was defined by COVID-19 because we're still living through it. We missed out on the usual celebratory culmination of our scholastic careers, and it's hard to think back to the time before March 13th when we could sit together in classrooms and go to basketball games. And as lame as it may sound, we can at least take solace in the amazing things we did together before our senior year was interrupted. We spent the past 4 years at Wahconah being inspired by our amazing teachers, by our coaches, and by each other. In the time we've been away, we've grown somewhat disconnected from each other and from our normal academic routines, but we have not lost sight of our amazing community. The old building we're leaving behind will have its place taken by a newer, sleeker one without a leaky roof or collapsing ceiling tiles. And in a few years, the campus will in all likelihood be almost unrecognizable. But we still have our memories of our time here. We're all about to rise to a new stage in life, but we will be doing so with the help of the foundation we built here. I'll finish with some wisdom from Mr. Bradshaw, and full disclosure, I did not know Catherine's speech before I wrote this, so it might sound a little bit repetitive. He liked to remind us often that the point of being in high school was to get out of high school, that we were meant to think and act and achieve in a manner beyond what we expected of ourselves. Well, here we are. We've made it. We're out of high school. And as we enter the next stage of our lives, we shall continue to exceed our own expectations, despite the hardships that face us. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. It is my distinct pleasure to announce and to welcome to the podium our new superintendent, Ms. Leslie Blake Davis.
Good evening, Wahconah graduating class of 2020, families, Principal Rob, Vice Principal Messina, School Committee Chair Dr. Kraft-Reese, faculty, administrators, and friends. I want to first and foremost tell you how very proud we are of you. Your sitting here today is a testament to the hard work, creativity, resilience, and perseverance that you have shown during these uncertain times. I want to thank our Central Berkshire families, staff, and community members for all of the love and support you have shown our graduates that has taken on so many different forms these past few months. In an effort to send you off with a message that comes from the heart, I'm going to share with you a quote from Maya Angelou, who was known for her many literary accomplishments, mainly because she believed in herself and in all of humanity. Courage is the most important of all virtues, because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. Persevere through challenges, and always have the courage to stand up for what you believe in. Your voice matters. Your being who you are and what you believe in is our hope. Take the time to reflect and share your thoughts and ideas. In doing so, you will fully understand what you are most passionate about. We believe in you and have believed in you since the day you walked through our doors. Maya Angelou also notably said, "The desire to reach for the stars is ambitious. The desire to reach hearts is wise." We very much hope we have reached your hearts. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Blake Davis. Thank you, Kevin, Catherine, and Jack as well for sharing your extremely thoughtful words with all of us. I'd ask that you bear with me a bit longer before we distribute diplomas, as we have many folks we need to acknowledge today, in addition to our graduates. First, I'd like to take a moment to recognize and thank our senior class advisors. This was their first tour of duty as class advisors, and I'm sure they will agree that it's been a whirlwind of 4 years. Nobody could have envisioned what they would have to navigate over the last several months. I know firsthand how deeply they care about their students in this class. I'd like to offer up my personal thanks to Mrs. Harrison and Ms. Polo for all of their efforts over the last 4 years. Thank you. I'd also like to acknowledge our senior class officers. We had to meet numerous times virtually throughout the spring in order to navigate our way through the school closure. I was impressed and deeply grateful for their honest thoughts and insight that helped us work our way through the last few months of school. Kevin Hubin, Michaela Monchecki, and Amanda Drager, I would ask that they please stand so they can be recognized for their showing of true student leadership during these trying times. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize and thank all of our district principals and administrators for being present at graduation today on behalf of their respective schools. While at this moment our seniors are graduating from Wahconah, the reality is they are graduating from Central Berkshire Regional School District, and these folks in attendance today remind us of that. Thank you all for the work that you do and your schools have done on behalf of our graduates. I'd like to express my personal and professional gratitude to my administrative colleagues for their continued support over the years, and most certainly for their support and camaraderie as we work our way through fall reopening planning this summer. Though they may not want to, I would ask that they please stand briefly to be recognized. I'd be remiss if I did not publicly thank another staff member who is with us today as well. We've been working together for many years in various capacities, and in my estimation, he has one of the most difficult jobs in school. I'm deeply appreciative of the work that he does and the work that we're able to accomplish together. Therefore, I'd like to offer my sincere and public thanks to our assistant principal, Steve Messina. Now, this is normally the point at which I turn my attention to the graduates and brag about them before we hand out our diplomas. But due to today's unprecedented event, I'm compelled to offer further thanks to other groups and individuals, so please bear with me for the moment. I'd like to start by publicly thanking the Dalton Board of Health. Today would not have been possible without their valuable input. I'd also like to thank our Wahconah custodians led by Mike Cayley for all of their support behind the scenes in making today possible. It's also very important to give thanks to our senior parents, who from the moment we closed our building in March, began to pull together and rally for their kids so that they could experience a special and unique ending to their high school careers. Our senior parents truly amazed me in what they were able to accomplish. So at this time, I would ask our graduates in joining me in a round of applause for your parents and families. Typically, at the end of the school year, the Wahconah Warriors Booster Club holds a very nice banquet for our senior letter award winners. Obviously, the coronavirus had different plans for us. So the boosters and our athletic director, Jared Shannon, sprang into action and hand-delivered the Letterman plaques to the homes of almost 70 senior letter award winners. Thank you, Mr. Shannon and the Wahconah Warriors Booster Club, for your level of dedication to our student athletes. Back when we started planning for this ceremony, we realized that we were entering uncharted territory. One of our biggest concerns, aside from the necessary safety measures, was how we were going to deliver sound and audio to all of our graduates and families. It didn't take me long to realize that I knew exactly who to call. He's done sound for many of the buddy walks we've held in our community over the years, and he's volunteering his time today by providing sound, a live stream on Facebook, and even a radio broadcast of today's ceremony. Please join me in giving a hearty thank you to Mr. John Williams for donating his services today. In case you're wondering, he's going to be doing the very same thing next weekend at McCann. It's an understatement to say that the last 4 months have been quite the challenge. This spring, as we navigated our way through the school closure, and this summer, as we planned for today's ceremony and the eventual reopening of school, my attention has been frequently pulled away from my family. So with that in mind, I'd like to thank my wife, Lynn, and my children, Hayden, Lily, and Colby, for their patience, understanding, and continued support. Thank you. I'm also very proud to say that there are 2 people in attendance today who, in my mind, are pretty important people. That's because if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be standing here today. They are here with great pride watching their firstborn grandson graduate from high school. So with that, I would like to offer my heartfelt thanks to my parents, Barbara and David Robb. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Finally, when the majority of the senior class voted in favor of having a full ceremony, and when the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education came out with their guidelines for such an event, I quickly pulled together a team of volunteers to plan for this event. This team, consisting of approximately 30 Wahconah staff members as well as community volunteers, have been working on planning for this event since early June. We held virtual meetings and also met up here on this very field several times. Some staff members took on a great deal of responsibility with this ceremony. For instance, Mr. Therians designed our entire registration system from scratch. Mr. Messina and Mr. Shannon designed our parking plan. And the Shannon family spent all of Thursday night in the sweltering heat laminating signs for today. Families and graduates of the class of 2020, the folks you see working at this event today are the very reason why you have a ceremony tonight. Without them, this ceremony would not be happening. At this time, I would ask that every volunteer for today's event please step forward and just give a little wave so we can give our proper thanks that you deserve. They seem shy. And now for the class of 2020. Now that we're finally here at this moment, I want to leave you with some final thoughts. I'd like to talk about 2 important aspects of your life moving forward. They're family and community. Some high school principals think I'm crazy when I say this, and I see Mr. Farley, former vice principal here at Wahconah. He's probably going to think that I'm crazy as well. But one of my very favorite things to do each year is conduct graduation rehearsals. I absolutely love them. I don't know why. It pains me to say that we never got that opportunity this year. Typically, we would have 3 such rehearsals at Wahconah. And during that time, I take the opportunity to remind our graduates of 3 important things. First, class night is designed to celebrate you as an individual. It's an opportunity for you to be celebrated for your individual accomplishments. Senior assembly is designed to be a gift to your whole class. It's an opportunity to celebrate all of you as one collective group. Graduation is different. Graduation is not really for you. It's for your families. It certainly provides closure for you, but for your families, it's the fulfillment of a dream. As a parent, I can tell you that when you were born, within the days, hours, and even minutes of your birth, your parents started to envision you celebrating 2 important milestones in your life: graduation and marriage. You're halfway there. No pressure. At some point in time, your families literally dreamed about what is happening right now before their very eyes. Even though the school year is pretty far behind us, and even though a global pandemic prevented us from celebrating you in typical fashion, we are here today in large part for your families, so that they can get this one last moment with you. So with that, graduates, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to sit up straight for a minute. Look at that. That was awesome. I need you to put your feet flat on the ground. They're amazing. And I just want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Won't be hard. The sun's already in your eyes. Nothing's going to happen. Keep your eyes closed. And while they stay closed, I want you to think back to certain moments in your life where the people in attendance with you today provided you with an element of joy, happiness, or support. Think about a moment where those in attendance with you now helped you become who you are today. Keep your eyes closed and just let those thoughts flow into your head for the moment. Keep them closed until I tell you to open them. Families, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to also sit up straight. Feet flat on the ground, and close your eyes as well. I'm going to ask you to think of something a little different. I want you to think about a moment over the course of the last 18 years or so where your graduates simply made you proud. It doesn't have to be a specific accomplishment. It could be anything, even a little thing from 10 years ago. But I want you to think about something specific that stands out to you. But keep your eyes closed. So at this very moment, virtually everyone in attendance has their eyes closed. I could totally just take off and leave you sitting here for hours, but I won't do that. I'm about to give you your very last homework assignment. At the conclusion of this ceremony, we are all going to have our graduates rejoin their families in their respective pods, for lack of a better term. And when you rejoin one another, I challenge you, I dare you to say in your out loud voice what you were just thinking about with your eyes closed. Say it out loud to each other right away when you're reunited with one another. Don't wait until later tonight. Don't wait until tomorrow or next week. Say it right away. Don't waste that moment. And promise yourselves that you will do that. Okay, you can open your eyes now. Now, what we just did right there is something we should do far more of, myself included. We need to acknowledge our connection with one another and celebrate the fact that our bonds with one another are unique and special. We need to say it out loud to one another, not just on Facebook, Twitter, or Snapchat. We need to validate it live and in person. Strengthening that connection will help us move forward in the challenging times we are currently facing. That connection will help ground us and protect us to a certain extent. That's important because I believe the issues that we are facing, whether they be medical, political, or otherwise, are not going to change overnight. Graduates, I hope you're leaving our school today feeling better informed and prepared to take on a new and ever-changing world. I truly do hope that. But I have to admit, as both a principal and a proud father of one of your classmates, it's a secondary concern for me right now whether you know how to solve a geometric proof, whether you know what iambic pentameter is, or what a standardized test you happen to ace. Those things do not keep me up at night. My fundamental primary concern is that you leave us today with the desire to be better, to do better, and to reach beyond whatever preferred news feed you have and dig beneath the issues that we face so that you can truly understand what plagues us. And then, no pressure, go try and fix that stuff. Turn your opinions into actual research. Research that is based off of authentic, credible sources. Turn your research into actual action. And turn your actions into a better life that you can build for yourselves, your family, and your community. The reality is we are not going to see many of you again after today. So I want those words to be the last ones you hear from me. Graduates, class of 2020, on behalf of the staff of Wahconah Regional High School, I want you to know just how proud we are of you. You've weathered a lot, and I'm sure you'll weather a lot more down the road. With that, I wish you nothing but the very best as you set out to start your new lives. I can't wait to see you in action. Thank you. At this time, School Committee Chair Kraft Reese, Superintendent Blake Davis, and distinguished members of the school committee, I stand before you today with great pride to certify and attest that the students seated before you have met and in many cases exceeded all state and local graduation requirements set forth by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the Central Berkshire Regional School District. Therefore, on behalf of the dedicated faculty of this great school, it is my distinct honor to present to you Wahconah Regional High School's class of 2020. At this time, I would ask that our ushers and our attendants please get into position. Our class advisors are going to come to the podium. They will be announcing graduate names. We're going to be calling folks up by row. What? They're taking over the microphone. Okay.
Before this, I'm sorry, we had to do something. Michaela Monchecki has a surprise.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to keep this brief but meaningful. This month, our advisors were presented with an idea from our cameraman, Larry, from the yearbook, and our sound and record man, Stefan. They came up with this idea during senior assembly. It was very touching that they came up with this. Every year during senior assembly, we have a speaker. This year, it was our very own principal, Mr. Rob. And his message to us was powerful and really hit home. The senior class always gives the speaker a gift. Larry and Stefan had the perfect one in mind. You can show it. Ooh, oh God. Larry made this for us to give to Mr. Rob in honor of your speech about running the hill. He thought it would be perfect for your office in the new school, and we agreed. Thank you, Larry and Stefan, for this, and a big thank you to Mr. Rob. We really care about you and your all hard work and have made an impact to us. We will miss you. You're welcome. Oh, they're not going to stand up.
Well, everybody.
That's very cool.
Did they want it or no?
Mr. Messina's stealing it. I promise that will hang when you walk into the new office. It will hang. This will be the first thing you see, next to Abe Lincoln. Thank you very much. Good job, Mr. Messina. That's very nice. Thank you, Larry and Steve. We love our friends from Life Touch. They're fantastic people. All right, so what we're going to do in order to distribute diplomas is we're going to call folks up by row. This is going to be a little bit more structured and slower than normal if you've been to a high school graduation for obvious reasons. So at this time, what I would do is I'd ask that row one of our graduates and any family members that are coming forward to take pictures in row one to please stand up. And we will start announcing the names of the graduates.
Gwen Smith. Mario Pyers. Juliana Hector. Kiana Rudd. Sam Fox. Amelia Berquist. Annabelle Alessio. Silas Emerson. Sean Day.
All right, at this time, would row 2 please stand up, as well as row 2 parents that are coming forward for pictures.
Michaela Monchecki.
Thank you very much.
Michaela Lenski. Lucas Walsh. Donald Nealon.
No cap.
You look great, Donnie.
You tell him, Big Don. Order for Don.
What do you do?
Owen Garceau. Austin Doyle. Corey Bazanski. Nick Kaman.
The boy's wearing Crocs.
William Fahey. Hunter Connolly.
At this time, would row 3 graduates please stand up, and row 3 parents that are coming forward.
Amanda Drager. Haley Lenski. Matt Thibodeau. Jonna Looney. Jordan Gagliardi. Serena Bondini. Jordan Barnes. Justin Mendez. Dan Greenspan. Tom O'Connor.
All right, at this time, would row 4 please stand up for graduates, and row 4 for families as well.
Haley Picard. Cecilia Dunham. Ann Wayner. Jaden Strack. Charlie Salinetti. Rachel Olds. Cam Newsom. Amber Lee Lockenwitz. Gabrielle Friedel.
This time at row 5, graduates, please stand up, and row 5 families as well.
Kevin Hubin. Kaylin Vincent. Colby Wood. Emily Fajila. Annabella Passarelli. Dominic Orlandi.
Look at him go. Thank you.
Tim Noble. Rebecca Morris. Tyler Hillard. Jack Peronick.
Oh, Andy, he started walking away.
At this time, I'd like both center rows of graduates, both center rows, as well as both center rows of the families, so they can start approaching the front of the stage, and our graduates can start approaching Mr. Messina.
Hey, Brad. Hey, how you doing? Yes, sir.
Zach Bernardo. Tyler Young. Caden Frazier.
Dummy too.
Luke Hescock. Jaden Kuzia.
Allison Fuller. Andrew Pearson.
I'm speechless.
Alex Walker. No. Sorry, Alex. Zach Walker.
All right, we're going to throw a little curveball here, and we're actually going to go in reverse direction now. See if you guys can handle this. Mr. Therian, we're going with row 10 or row 6?
Row 10.
Row 6?
Really? No, row 10.
No, Abby Wells.
Abby Wells. 10.
See if who can handle it.
All right. We only rehearsed this once, so.
Kind of.
With the graduates in row 10 standing behind Abby Wells. And with the families from row 10, please stand. And start approaching the picture area.
Abigail Wells. Madeline Esco.
Better be on both sides, each side of you, okay? There you go, looking right at me. You gotta keep that on. There we go. Yeah, that's okay. Ready?
Jordan Rabs.
Just put her right in the middle, okay?
Jacob Ottaviano.
Surprise. There you go. Ready, guys? 1, 2. Thank you.
Kate Emily Matthews. Mitchell Gray. Easton Eberwine. Emma Adams.
There you go. Smile. Smiles are perfect with a mask. Congratulations.
Doug Dory.
The coach's going to have you right into the box here, one on each side, okay? Just have the ground in the middle.
The sheep are
There you go. Cuddle it in. There you go. 1, 2. Thank
Shay McElwain.
We're going to have you on each side of them, okay? There you go. Wow. Just cuddle it in.
You made it, Mom. You made it.
Thank you. Good job, Shay.
Right in the back.
In the box here, sir. We're going to have
At this time, we need graduates in row 9 to stand up and families in row 9 to come forward for the pictures.
Thank you. Oh, don't forget his plaque.
Jack Manella. Madeline Neff.
Put it right behind him. There you go. Pedal it in there, folks.
Caitlin Ryan.
Pedal it in there, guys.
Jack Pudlow.
Pedal it in.
Tyler Munier. Colby Lennon.
Yes.
Gracie George. Josh Casella. Zach Rogers. Hayden Kendall.
Easy, Todd. Sorry, you, Todd.
Would the graduates in row 8 please stand, and the families in row 8 also please stand and approach the picture area.
One of you on each side of him, okay?
Catherine Bueno. Bailey Gabrielle Shippey. Taylor Schneid. Mitch Quinn. Zoe Lewis. Olivia Millis. Ian Graham. Ellen Cook. Michael Acevedo. Gavin Henshaw.
Would the graduates and families of row 7 please stand? Families can make their way to the front.
Maybe right in the box here, we'll have one of you on each side of the crowd. Okay? Gavin, right into the box here. There you go. There you go. Thank you. There you go. Settle it in. Right there. Electronics. They come apart when you step on it.
Hayden Robb.
Good job, Hayden.
Alex White. Jaden Tatro. Casey Voigt. Hannah Rose. Noah Millis. Joshua LaFleur. John Haddad. Elliot Tribble.
So ladies, we're going to have you on each side of the grad, right in this box, okay?
Awesome, Al. Good job.
Ryan Muller.
Thank you.
Would the graduates and families of row 6 please stand?
Come right into the box here, folks. We're going to have the graduate on each side of you, okay? So have them in the middle. Right there, man. Right. 1, 2.
Cameron Catalati.
Go down to Miss Shannon, okay? Good job. Congratulations. Maybe come right into the box here. Good job, Cam.
Okay. Jessica Duma.
Beautiful. Good job. Congratulations.
Chris Rock.
Right into the box. Just put one of you on each side of the block, right in this block.
Madison Williams. Fred Sears. Nick Perouse. Rachel Mulligan. Rachel Hotailing. Mike Cullett Jr. Griffin Salvini.
We'll have a graduate on each side. Okay, so we'll have a grad in the middle.
This time, I would ask that our president, Kevin Hubin, come forward. He's already here. To lead the class in the changing of their tassels. Would the class of 2020 please stand? On the count of three, you're going to change your tassel. Watch your class president. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, class of 2020.
There we go.
There we go.
Alex, you got anything else, or your arsenal's done? Okay.